Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. This video tutorial is about how to solve an equation. To understand this, let's take some examples, let's take some analogy to understand it. Suppose we have this weighing machine, okay, and these are two pans, and where on this side we have 100 kg and on this side we have 100 kg. So both the sides are at the same, weight, having same weight. Therefore, we will say that they have equality. There is an equality between the two weighing pans. This is pan 1, pan A or left side, and this is pan right side, on the right side. So both these two pans are actually having equality because they are having 100 kg and 100 kg. Now, suppose if I add 50 kg on this side, if I add 50 kg on this side, and the condition is again that you have to maintain this equality, then you'll also add, you have added 50 kg, then you'll also add 50 kg on this side in order to maintain the equality, right? So if you add 50 kg, this will become what? This will become now 150 kg, and this one is also now 150 kg. Okay, if we again add 10 kg, if we again add 10 kg on this side, therefore in order to maintain the equality, you'll have to again, in this case also, on this side also, you will have to add 10 kg. Okay, so after doing this, this will become 160 kg and this will also become 160 kg. Still the equality has been maintained. If we subtract, if we reduce this weight by, let's say by 60 kg, if we reduce this weight by 60 kg, so in order to maintain the equality, here also, on this side also, you'll have to reduce the weight by 60 kg. So now the weight will be, on this side will be, on both the sides, it will be 100 kg. If we further subtract, reduce this side of weight by, let's say by 50 kg, then in order to maintain this equality on the weighing machine, you will have to reduce this side also by 50 kg. So now the weight will be what? The weight will be 50 kg on each side, right? Let's take one more example. The person A initially had 100 rupees. The person B also initially had 100 rupees. The condition is they are in an equality. There is an equality between these two persons in terms of having equal amount of money. Now, you have to maintain this equality always, but suppose if you want to give this person A 50 rupees, if you want to give this person A rupees 50, so now this will be rupees 150 after adding 50 rupees. Same thing you'll have to do on with this person. In order to maintain this equality, you'll have to give this person also rupees 50 because the condition has been given to you that equality should always be there. You cannot, deviate from that. So even in this case, now this will become rupees 150. You further want to give this person rupees 100. Okay, and same thing you'll have to do on this side also. This rupees 100. Now the sum will be rupees 250, and on this side also it will be rupees 250. If you want to reduce the amount that this person is having by, let's say by rupees 80, so this time it will be If you reduce 80 from 250, this will be rupees 170. Same thing you'll have to do with this person. You'll have to reduce this person's money or amount by rupees 80. And in this case, this will be rupees 170. Why we are adding or subtracting the equal amount from both these two persons' money? Because the condition is whatever you do, you have to maintain this equality between these two persons in terms of the money or amount they have. Same thing was in this condition, same thing is in this condition. Now this has set a base to understand solving an equation properly. Let's take with an arithmetic equation. Let's say we have 8 plus 2 is equal to 11 minus 1. 8 plus 2 is what? 10, and 11 minus 1 is what? 10. So both these two sides are equal. We'll say that this is left hand side, and this is right hand side. So LHS and RHS are maintaining equality sign in this arithmetic equation. It's not an algebraic equation. Why? Because there is no variable on either side. So this is an arithmetic equation. Now, the same thing what we did here will have to apply in equations also. If you have to maintain this equality, if the condition is like equality should always be there, then if you are adding, let's say you are adding, this was 8 plus 2 and this equality sign, and this is 11 minus 1. If we add, let's say plus 10 on this side, if we add plus 10 on this side, then you'll have to add 10 on this side as well, right? So 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 10 is 20. 11 minus 1 is 10, plus 10 is 20. That is, equality has been maintained. If you are subtracting from this side, let's say minus 5, then you'll have to, in order to maintain the equality, you'll have to subtract 5 from this side as well. 8 plus 2 is 10, 10 minus 5 is 5, 11 minus 1 is 10, 10 minus 5 is 5. Equality is maintained. Let's say that you multiply this side by 10. This side, LHS, has been multiplied by 10. Same thing you'll have to multiply here as well in order to maintain the equality. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. 11 minus 1 is 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Equality is maintained. Let's say that you are dividing one side by 5. Now since you have divided this side by 5, then in order to maintain the equality, you'll have to divide this side as well by 5. So 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 divided by 5 will be what? 2. 11 minus 1 is 10. 10 divided by 5 will be what? 2. It means equality has been maintained again. So what does that mean? It means that whenever you have to maintain the equality and you are dealing with any equation, let it be an arithmetic equation or an algebraic equation, you have to keep this thing in mind, that whatever number you are either adding it or subtracting with or multiplying with or dividing with, you have to do the same arithmetic operation on both the sides with the same number. Okay, so now let's take an algebraic equation. Suppose you have x plus 10 is equal to 100. Now you have to solve this equation for x. That is, finally, you have to find the value of x. It means that after solving several steps, finally you should have something like x is equal to this thing. How will you do this? Well, it's very simple. What we have learned so far, you have to apply it here. So x plus 10 is equal to 100. If I subtract, this is LHS, that is left hand side, and this is right hand side, RHS. So if I subtract, 10 from this side, this will be x plus 10 minus 10, and this will be 100 minus 10. And why we did this? So that we could get it like something like this: x plus 10 and minus 10. You know that plus 10, and when you will add plus 10 with minus 10, you will get what? If this is 10 minus 10, plus 10 minus 10 means what? 10 minus 10, and that will be what? 0. So you'll get x is equal to 90. That's why we subtracted with the same number, that is 10, so that on the left hand side we are only left with a variable that we have to find the value for. Okay, now this is x is equal to 90. Suppose it was x plus not x plus, let's take this time x minus 50 is equal to 200. X minus 50 is equal to 200. Now you have to find the value of x. What you would do? Same thing. If I want that on the left hand side I should only have the variable x so that I can solve this equation for x, then what you will do? In this case it was plus 10, therefore you subtracted both the sides by minus 10. In this case you have minus 50. It means that in order to get only x on the left hand side, you'll have to add plus 50 on both the sides. In order to maintain the equality, you are adding both the sides by plus 50. This minus 50 and plus 50 will be what? 0. And therefore this is only x is equal to 250. Right? Now hold on. There's one very important thing to notice. Can you see this side? This side and on this side. Right? If I write this thing as plus 10 minus 10 is what? Actually it is 0 only. So if I write this as x is equal to 100 minus 10, just want to tell one very important thing. X is equal to 100 minus 10 only, right? The same thing. Even in this case, this is what? X is equal to 200 plus 50. Same thing, right? If you solve this, you'll get 90 only. If you solve this, you'll get 250 only. The point is, if you can notice that this plus 10 in the original equation has actually moved on this side, right? It was x plus 10 is equal to 100. Now this has become x equal to 100 minus 10. And when you will solve this, you can get this answer. Same thing here. It was x minus 50 is equal to 200. Now it has become x is equal to 200 plus 50. It means that this side has moved to that side. So when you moved a positive number on the right hand side, you made it plus sign was changed with minus sign. And when this minus sign with this 50 number moved to this side, it became plus 50. That is what is known as transposition method. Transposition method. In order to solve the equation. Okay? So the point is, if it is x and plus a equal to b. Let's say a is any arbitrary number and b is any arbitrary number. Okay, x is variable, but a can be 10, a can be 20, 30, whatever. My point is that if this is x plus a is equal to b, and if for this side it is x minus a equal to b, then when you will apply transposition method on these two equations, then this will be what? This will be actually x is equal to b. This is plus a, it will become minus a. This was plus 10, it became minus 10. This is x equal to b, it was minus a, therefore it will become plus a. That is, just make plus as minus and minus as plus, and you can change the position on the different side. So this is transposition method, and we learned for addition, for plus sign, and for the subtraction, for the addition and subtraction, right? Same thing will be in the case of multiplication and division as well. This was a very basic way to tell you that what actually we mean by solving an equation, and we did using these two analogies. Now we learn transposition method, that we need not to follow all these steps, and we can quickly do this by changing the position of the numbers. Let's learn for multiplication and division. If your equation is like 2p is equal to 100, okay, it's 2 times p, 2 multiplied with p is equal to 100. Now if you have to solve for this one, then same thing, you have to maintain the equality. Then what you would do, if I divide both these two sides, that is left hand side by 2 and this right hand side by 2, in order to maintain the equality, then this will be what? This is 2p times 2 divided by 2. It can be written as 2 divided by 2 over 2 times p, right, equal to 100 over 2. And if you divide 2 by 2, you'll get what? 1. So this is 1 times p is equal to 100 divided by 2, and this is p equal to 100 divided by 2, and this is p equals to 50, right? Let's take so the value of p is 50. Now let's take for division. If it is p divided by 5, then let's say it is equal to 100. Okay, if I have to solve for p, then if I multiply both the sides by 5, then this will become p times 5 divided by 5, this is equal to 100 times 5. This will be p times 5 over 5 equals to 100 times 5. This is p times 1, because 5 divided by 5 is 1. This is 100 times 5. This is p equal to 100 times 5, or p is equal to 500. Okay, so in this case p is equal to 50 when it was multiplication. In this case it is p is equal to 500. Now I want to show you the transposition method that's happening here as well. So focus on this one. This was 2p is equal to 100, and when we finally reached here, this is p is equal to 100 divided by 2. So what has actually happened? In this case, the multiplication, that is the multiplication with 2, is now, when it has been changed transposition to on the other side, this multiplication has been now changed to division. That is, multiplication of the same number is now division with the same number, that is p is equal to 100 by 2. Focus on this one. This is p divided by 5 equals to 100, and when you see here, this is p is equal to 100 times 5. That is, when you were dividing this variable by a number, and when you apply this transposition method, it has now become converted into multiplication. That is, when it will move on this side, the division will be now multiplication with the same number. And when you finally solve it, you are going to get back the same number. What's the point? The point is, if it is something like a times x is equal to b, where x is a variable, a and b are some arbitrary number, okay? This will be solved as x is equal to b times b over a. That is, the multiplication will be now the division, okay? Same thing for this one. If it is x divided by b, x divided by a is equal to b, this will be x is equal to b times a. That is, the division has now been converted to multiplication. This is what transposition method is. Following these steps, we try to explain you that what we exactly mean by solving an equation, that is by explaining this analogy. But we learned in the last that we can quickly solve it using transposition method. In the next video, we are going to solve some problems related to solving equations using transposition method.